Hey folks, this is Vincent Natalie with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Star Trek Captain's Chair. This is another one of those cozy game nights, so just be warned, the camera may be a little shaky. This game supports 1 to 2 players. It's for ages 14 and up, and the average play time is 60 to 120 minutes. And today we tried the 2-player game, and I'll just say this. It's dark outside. That's why it's a cozy game night segment. But we started at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, or 3.
But to be fair, I did spend the first hour or two teaching her how to play the game and taking her first turn and the like.
What time do we end? What time is it now?
It's around 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. So like 4 hours.
Yeah,
4 hours.
But to her benefit, she did win.
I can't believe it.
69 to 58. I like always, I get so wrapped up in the engine building that I forget about victory points.
Yeah.
And that's where I ended up.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, this is the first time I played with the Cisco deck.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was confused as to how to get things done. It was just interesting. All right, so before I get further, let's just recap a bit.
Yeah.
Star Trek Captain's Chair is a Star Trek themed deck building game, but it's not like a traditional deck builder. If you guys want to see all the components that are in the box, go check out my unboxing video. If you want to see my training mode on camera, like a full playthrough, I have a video for that as well. So we're not going to go over the full rules because I don't have 15 minutes to do that. I will just simply say that, like a traditional deck builder, you will be building a deck of cards and you will be trying to get them in play to do various things. You're going to be buying cards from the market. Each player has their own reserve and an development deck, and you're going to be trying to get cards from that as well to be added to your deck to do things. And at the end of the game, you score points for points that might be listed on the cards themselves. There's also these variable points where you take a look over on your personal tracker to see how far you've advanced in science, influence, and tactical, to see how many points you would earn there. And there's some other like end game conditions for each of the different captains, like this one, score 1 point for each controlled location you have in play. And then regular one over here, score 1 point for each of your anomaly cards, and there's different tags on these cards to indicate what they do and what they are. So it's very complex, I'll just say that. And we'll skip right to it. Like I said, I've got 2 other videos out there that go over the rules. I'm not going to repeat them. What did you think of this? From a 2-player standpoint, what were your initial impressions?
I really enjoyed it. I'm a little nervous about the attack part of it. We did not attack each other at all, and I didn't want to. Well, I kind of wanted to, but I didn't.
Okay.
Because I'm not really into the whole take that thing, but I love this game. I love the engine building. I love trying to find tags. Like any game that has tags and you have to kind of like build up to that is really cool. This tracker, the tracker that we have to kind of manage and like bump up, I'm not really too fond of, just because the numbers don't really mean anything in between. And I guess I was a little confused on how it worked.
Well, so these numbers mean something for your personal objective, for your goal. But you're right. All you got to worry about are the bubbles, the multipliers, and that's what those little ribbons affect down here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see where that's just an extra thing you've got, because in a normal deck builder, typically you don't have to worry about trackers like that.
Yeah, there's just so much text, so much trying to manage all the cards that you have in your tableau, and then there's switching out officers and trying to figure out when to put out this officer, when to switch them out. There's a captain's log, there's the ship logs. I lost ships at one point, and I was buying cargo, but like no ships. I had no ships, but it was really fun. I really enjoyed this game.
This is decision paralysis, the game.
Oh yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it is.
Because some cards, like she said, there's a lot of text on these. And, as an example, the white text is whenever you take, well, a bad example. Let's do that one. So you can play, if you have a card in your hand, you play it for the white text effect. If it's in play in your tableau, you would activate it with the blue one and ignore the white one. And some even have, like Cork here has a resupply, which kicks in at the beginning of every turn. So cards typically have multiple uses, and some require one of your precious actions to use, and others do not. So you may have more than 3 actions per turn because some cards don't require you to spend an isolinear chip or an action point to do it. So yeah, and I really enjoyed the 2-player, even though, like I said, I kind of was disappointed with how I was getting started. Because I was used to I played the Picard once during the cadet training mode, but with Cisco, it was a different way of playing. I went all out with locations. I was trying to get as many ships fielded as possible, but in the beginning I had trouble doing it, and I was slow in getting going. But I felt like if I had more play time, I would have gotten every location. I would have expanded like the Borg throughout the galaxy.
Yeah. As soon as I got a card that netted me these glory points, I said, okay, I'm just going to try and hoard glory points and, finish the game as quickly as possible. Because I had no idea how far you were getting. But you had so many location cards that I was actually getting kind of nervous. I only had 3 locations out of your 10? You had 10?
It was ridiculous.
Yeah. And I was getting rich, but I mean, I didn't know what to spend my dilithium and the gold bars. What are they? Latinum?
Gold press latinum.
Latinum, yeah. And it was kind of hard. It's kind of hard to manage everything, but I really enjoy it. The incidents that we get, it's interesting because you fill your deck up with these terrible, awful cards, but then you have really awesome ways of mitigating it. Beverly was one of my favorites.
You used her throughout the entire game as your duty officer. Yeah.
But what stunk was that I was planning for Data to come out and really score big, because I had a crap ton of cards underneath my captain, and I would have, was it a point for every 5 cards under the captain?
Yeah, something like that. And you had a lot of cards that were logged, and you even got the one, what are these called?
The events.
No, the
encounters.
Encounters, yeah. You had an encounter that let you log cards, so that...
Man, and I wanted to put him in there, but I guess I finished the game too early.
Well, that's one of the things, I mean, in the cadet training mode, there are 10 rounds, 11, because you get one final turn. With the 2-player game, there's these cards that you go through one at a time, and you put the glory token, or the glory tokens on here, and then when that runs out, you move on to the next card. So there's a timer, and something happens every time one of these cards gets discarded, like wiping the market, for example. And so you could extend the length of the game by avoiding gaining victory points, but we were, I was doing that regularly. There were cards that I was getting that were scoring me glory, but I had to keep spending it because I was so resource starved. So you can spend your victory points for latinum and dilithium, but whereas you got so many resources, I was starved and I was constantly trying to.
I only got resources towards the end, this card.
Oh, your ally, the Tholians.
Yeah, but I wasn't really starved. I just wasn't spending as much as I probably should have.
Yeah.
But had we played more attack based, I think if I saw a card that you were aiming for and I put a ship or away teams on there to try and prevent you, maybe that could have.
Yeah, I admit I could have done. I had this card right from the get-go, attack activation. I can warp this ship, and I can spend the dilithium to force your opponent to recall a ship. So every time I could basically go to your location and then force you to go out of that planet.
Yeah.
And just so I could have done that, but like she said, we avoided attacking each other.
We did.
I had Worf, so I could have messed with her a bit.
I had Worf too. I was always thinking about using Worf on him.
Yeah. So I could have done that. I had Garrick. Just plain simple Garrick.
Wow. You actually could have.
I could have messed you up. I could have
from getting any planets.
But I did not. With this being a learning game for me for the Cisco deck and for you for the game in general, I didn't want to I didn't want to ruin or taint the experience by turning this into a bloodbath.
Yeah. These were my other attack cards, which were kind of nasty, but I never used them. I didn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of them also. This one I wanted too, the cargo.
Tribbles?
Yeah, like I could have gotten that for free, but then I was like, when am I ever gonna use that? Make him get an incident over and over.
Yeah, so like we played with Cisco now, and like Picard is a lot more he's a lot more passive in the way he plays. Cisco is more aggressive in the way he plays.
Oh, is he? Okay.
He's all about getting, like, his mission is getting 4 ships deployed and getting tactical or influence past 7. So I had to recruit 4. I had to field 4 different ships. I was constantly getting those. And with my ships, and his end game is point for every location. So I'm like, well, my goal is to get ships and locations, so I might as well just get as many as possible.
Yeah.
Like, that was my goal.
That's one of the reasons why I really didn't go for any locations, because I knew that was your goal, and I said, okay, in order to avoid conflict, I'm just going to focus on allies, which, you know, is his thing. It makes me wonder about the whole Klingon one. The
Klingon is definitely more aggressive. Shran involves like both the Andorians. Like here's the rule book.
Oh boy.
And yeah, Shran, he's all about equipping weapons, it looks like, and let's see. The Klingon's actually lower complexity. It looks like he's able to arrive at locations. Yeah, these are just basics. But yeah, I mean, Shran and the Klingons, I would imagine, are a bit more aggressive. And the Romulans have a lot of ships, too, from the looks of it.
What are the goals for them? The goals for Shran and the Klingons?
I'd have to pull up their cards. Shran. So there's a basic side and there's the advanced side.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
So the basic side for Shran is have 3 controlled locations in play and 4 weapons in play. So he's all about getting locations and weapons, which is cool. And then let's pull these out here. The Klingons' basic side have a total of 6 deployed ships / controlled locations in play, at least 1 of each. So basically a combination of ships and locations.
Oh my gosh.
And then Sela is have 6 influence. Or have influence at 6+ and weapons at 6+. So she's all about just gaining stats on her board in any way.
I'm curious what the advanced side is.
And then Michael Burnham have 2 incidents, a scientist and a Kelpian on the same ship, and science at 5+.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I like Sela's advanced stuff. That's crazy.
Have 4 Vulcans in play, the reunification plot, the Duras, have a Klingon. These are all references to various episodes. Reunification part 1 and 2 with Spock, and then the Duras sisters, Redemption part 1 and 2.
Are those Klingons?
Huh?
The Duras
sisters. Yeah, there's the Duras sisters, Lursa and Bator.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. You know, the
one that said Beverly was ugly.
Yes, in Generations.
Yes.
Human females are so repulsive.
That was hilarious, I will say. That's cute.
So, yeah. So, long story short, you liked this. It was just long.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The sabotage. I can't. That's the thing I'm nervous about. Like, I don't know if I'd want to play this because there's a lot of attacking in this game.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you really want to win, you're gonna have to attack.
Luckily, there's a solo mode. Well, there's 2. There's a cadet training mode, and then there's a solo versus the bot mode.
Yeah.
And even then, I imagine the bot's going to do stuff to attack you.
Wow. Yeah. See, I wouldn't mind if a bot attacks me, because then you can attack him right back without any.
But I don't want to end up on the couch either. So it's better if we do play
solo. Solo co-op.
Yeah, solo co/co-op. Yes.
No, I'm not that competitive.
I would. Speaking of co-op, I would love a 2-player co-op because that Star Trek deck building game by I think it's also WizKids. I could be wrong. The Next Generation. There was the Borg expansion one and the regular one. And in that game, we were fighting the Borg in the co-op scenario mode.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that they didn't implement something like that here.
Yeah.
I would love a 2-player co-op mode because
I would love to play as all of them versus Michael, right? Is that her name?
Michael Burnham. Yeah.
Yes, that would be a great co-op mode. That would be awesome.
Love for Discovery. No. The first 2 seasons were okay. After that, it just kind of... Anyway. So, not to offend Star Trek fans out there. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah. Give me... Again, I love this game. It's just, I don't understand the Koloth decision. That could have been Martok or Gowron. I think that would have been better.
I honestly don't understand a lot of these captain decisions. Like, why Shran? Maybe. I guess it's okay. I feel like Cisco and Picard is kind of
redundant.
Yeah, like they're both Starfleet.
Well, we've got 3 Starfleet in here.
Oh my god.
We've got Michael Burnham, Cisco, and Picard, and that's just weird to me.
We're the Tech. I want a Tech captain.
The Tac. That's one episode in Voyager, and they were doing all those hand movements.
Still.
That was Microcosm.
Yeah.
Where Janeway had to fight the microviruses on the ship. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But Koloth, that could have been Galron or Martok. Shran, I like Shran. I mean, I think Patrick Combs has done enough for Star Trek to warrant his own character in a game.
It's its own species. I wish there was like their own district. Like a Vulcan. Maybe
like a Vulcan faction. But here's the thing, and I'm going to say this in the politest way I can. I think that decision was made to open the door for expansions that do have those other characters.
True.
And that's how you make money.
True.
So, again, I'm trying to say that nicely. And to back that up, there are a couple of Borg tags in here, but no Borg characters, no Borg ships. Oh, no, there is a Borg probe in there. Mm-hmm. But very little Borg interaction with those tags. More is coming.
All right, Lucius deck. I'm waiting for it.
Who's Lucius?
Lucio.
Who's Lucius?
Picard board.
Locutus.
Same thing.
Lucius.
Luscious Picard.
I am Lucius of Borg.
Luscious Picard.
Luscious, yes. That's the wrong...
That's a stripper board.
That would not have been on UPN. Let's just put it that way. Back in the
funny.
day. Yeah, anyway.
Now I know what I'm going to be for Halloween.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up.
Borg. I'm going to be a luscious Borg. With a bald head and everything.
I'm looking forward to more expansions to expand on this. Mm-hmm. I think I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And knowing WizKids, I mean, all their Star Trek products have expansion. Even the deck building game, there's 2. There was an expansion for that too.
Janeway, Riker.
But that's too much Starfleet.
That is.
We need, like you said, Vulcans. We've got Klingons, but give me Galron or Martok or something. It makes more sense.
It does.
Sela, I can understand Sela, but Tomalak would have been a good choice too because he was in.
Who's Tomahawk?
Tomalak. Commander Tomalak, who's a few episodes anyway.
Is his number 1 Key? A guy named Key?
I don't get it.
Tomalak and Key?
Get out. Tomalak would have been a good choice. You're done.
Keyhole.
And then maybe Hugh from the Borg, or if you want Locutus, maybe do Locutus. Mm-hmm. I think that would have been better. There are no Borg leaders. Lore
7.
Lore in charge of the Borg. Remember, that was in Descent Part 1 and 2.
Androids. There should be like a whole android deck.
Well, there was a Voyager episode where Khan, bioengineering. Mm-hmm. The eugenics war. That could be its own deck.
A hologram deck with the Doctor.
A hologram deck.
And anti-dick.
I do remember. No, God, no. That stupid not stupid episode, but it was just, he's so annoying.
Oh, what about that ghost, that murderous ghost that hit, what's her face? The Klingon female, what's her name?
What?
Paris's wife.
B'Elanna?
Remember that ghost hologram? not a ghost, but he looked like all sweaty and white. And
Oh,
he's in a ton of Star Trek
but
episodes.
that was he was that psychotic hologram
Yeah,
that the Doctor and the B'Elanna beamed aboard the one ship to repair.
He'd be
but he
amazing.
murdered his entire crew. Spoilers.
Yeah, but he'd be amazing in a hologram deck. I'm just saying.
Okay.
With all the holograms.
Well, I have a feeling some of this is coming. There's a lot more Star Trek that hasn't been tapped here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. This is not turning into a coverage of Captain's Chair anymore.
I know, sorry.
I'm going to need timestamps in the bottom now.
What is the Orville deck?
I don't know if they have a license for that, but that would be cool.
Star Trek Lower Decks deck. Oh.
No lower decks.
No.
We'll pass on the lower decks. There are already lower deck cards in here.
Are you serious?
There was the Peanut Hamper, which...
I don't know what that is.
The Exocomp. Those little guys that Data was trying to save...
they had sentient life, and they were
yeah, everyone was like, just send them in, and if they blow up, they blow up. But Data's like, no, they show intelligence.
Okay.
We're gonna run this test 3,000 times to prove it, kind of thing. Yeah. So
the Doomsday Machine deck. All right, sorry.
The villains of I would love the Doom. I want to see the Doomsday Machine at least once in here. That was an iconic villain. Maybe.
So. You guys are gonna get very upset with me, but I'm always confusing the Doomsday Machine with the Death Star. I feel like they're so similar that I'm always getting them mixed up. Every time I say Doomsday, I'm about to say Death Star and vice versa because they both start with.
This is the part where people turn off the video.
Sorry.
No, kidding.
Don't unsubscribe. It's my fault.
No, it's her fault. No, she's not a. I give her credit for what she knows. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning.
Learning. All right, that's good enough. 20 minutes in. Star Trek Captain's Chair. 2-player impressions. Overall, good. Concerns with attacking each other. But it's very in-depth. A lot more in-depth than a standard deck builder, though.
I'm doing the Vanna White.
The Vanna White. Is that what she does? Why is she going Vogue?
I don't know.
Okay. This is Vincent Idley. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all next time. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.